The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV. Now here's your host, Dr. Nicole Fortin.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Language of Healing. I hope this day finds you well rested, energized, and ready for some interesting conversation because wow, is October ever a heavy hitter. Where there's lots of activity in the outside world and the inside world, and maybe you're noticing a lot of shifts and changes in your lives. This is quite a time of transition, which we've been talking about, has been a theme for some time on the show here, how to transition into the next season and what that means for us, how we can attune to the outside world with our inside world. And that's really what the way is about. The way of life is how to balance and harmonize what's around you, what's inside of you. And we're going to explore that journey a little bit more. And this week, we're going to bring in the elements of the celestial bodies and space. I've always really enjoyed space. I think that's maybe one of my first desires of profession. I wanted to be like studying the stars, and wow, how cool, how mysterious. So, but I study the internal space, and that's equally as cool, and they connect. What else we have? So we're talking about the mini moons, the comets, the potential supernovas. Oh my goodness. And what the bewitching hours between 3 and 5 a.m. are about, because in my practice, I study, and practice Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and quite a few people come in with sleep disturbances, digestive issues, just to name a couple there. But there's a lot of this wake up at 3 a.m. and what that means. So I'm excited to jump into that. Why don't we bring on another adventurer here, Space, the Final Frontier, Dean Piper, the Pipe Man. Hi. Isn't it
So I got a notification on my phone that this show was starting, so I had to click on the notification, and I was watching you while I was on the show.
Oh, yeah, just from the background. You got the green screen, or the green room, sorry, and a green screen.
No, on my phone, look, I'm watching your show right now, look.
Where are you watching that from? Is that Facebook?
Look,
oh, hi.
Look.
Hi, me. In the past? Does that mean the past? Or
That's you in the past. See, I know how to time travel.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool in concept, but then when you kind of find out what it's like, I'll stick right where I am. I like looking at space.
Well, it depends on where you're traveling to and what you're traveling for. What's your most recent travel?
To wherever I want to go, because I travel in my mind. And
Okay.
I think, no, seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, traveling in your mind can do lots of great things for you. And all those things you were talking about, I don't remember what they are, but no, I'm just kidding. But like, what do you do when you dream? You travel in your mind. And
yes,
dreaming, whether it be day or night, actually can be very good for you and very good for your, attitude, positive feeling, energy, all that stuff. It can go the other way too, but I don't want to talk about that. Well, maybe we should talk about that.
We always have a choice, and that's the point, is we can choose to be, considering like, well, they're different states of being, right? Like
I
you can be in a
choose
state
I I choose to
negative.
transition into a frog.
Okay, well, is that the reverse of the Prince Charming to a frog? You're just like
Yeah, I wanna
you've
go
just
back because
given
I wanna go
all
back
up all
because the
hope.
Prince Charming didn't work out too well, so, like, I think I was better off as a frog.
Ah, sorry to hear that. Maybe better luck next time. You know what? That's okay. You can step back and go back to where you recollect on all those
Y
lessons and events
you
to
can
move forward,
actually.
to leap forward. Hey, maybe as a frog, you would have better chance of leaping forward
Yeah,
into
I
the
can leap right past this year.
right past. Yeah, yeah. I
Why
know.
isn't
The
leap
heavy
year
hitter.
this year? You know what leap year should mean? You should just skip that year. That's what you shouldn't get an
Mm.
extra day, okay? Because what if it's a bad year? You don't want an extra day.
Well,
You
this
wanna
is what's
leap to the
interesting.
next year.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're born on that day, then you want that year to be there forever. But what like this is the point of maybe that we should why are we following the Gregorian calendar when I think that the lunar cycle, the lunar moon is a more accurate read of the time of year.
Oh,
We just
we've talked
we take
about that.
we take nature. Yeah, I know, but it's like we take nature and then we put it into this like little box and oh, it doesn't totally fit. So let's just add a little element to make it structure into our but nature's like, yeah, okay, well, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing
Well,
and
because the
here's
Gregorian
here's some
calendar makes
crazy
0 sense whatsoever. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Why do we have to learn which months have 31 days and which have 30 when they're all 28 days? Like, who decide? Yeah, they were probably sitting around doing math, and
well,
going, "Oh,
yeah.
well, we forgot a day last month. Let's just tack it on to this month.
Whoopsies.
Oh,
Our math
shit,
doesn't quite add up.
we forgot about that extra day. Oh, we'll just do it every 4 years. Screw it."
And
Can
then,
you
like,
imagine?
what was the deciding factor around February only having 28 days?
I Nobody knows.
Like,
Okay, so listen, when you ask, okay, I'm sorry, but you hit a nerve right there because
okay.
when you ask people that teach Christianity, that teach it, they can't answer the question, yet they're the ones that did it. And I say that because I've had conversations and I answer every single time about those type of things. Why do you use a Gregorian calendar when the lunar calendar, like the Jews use, is the actual calendar? Oh, because the Christians wanted to differentiate themselves from the Jews. Okay, so you believe in God, but you're going to do something different than what God says so you can differentiate from other types of people. Kind of sounds
Mm,
familiar to the world we're living in right now. Okay, and that's why I say that because there is no difference between people with different skin colors, different sexual orientations. You could go down the list. We're all human beings. There's individual differences, not group
mm.
differences.
Yeah,
Yes,
like, structurally, we're all the same anatomy, right? Like,
yes and no.
but
There's
you
genetics that play a
feel that
role for
yeah.
different cultures, but
But, like, the anatomy physiology kind more or less operates the same way for everybody. So then it's just like wearing, like, a protective layer that is unique and individual and gives us our own little flair. That's kind of the diversity of life, the fun part of life.
as a matter of fact, there are differences in when you talk about skin color, it's not the color that's the difference. I mean, it is, but the person's not different, but maybe how their skin is different. And for instance, I have a trivia question for our engineer if he wants to come on. Doo. Let's see if he wants to
Does
come
the
on.
voice of conscience?
I'll
Is
be
that what
able to
is
know if he
that
wants to come on. There he is. He's coming on. Okay. So Juan, introduce yourself. You're the engineer, Juan. So, do you happen to know I
Yeah.
used to be in the pool and spa business for like 10 years. Do you know why they choose people from Mexico to do fiberglassing?
Hmm.
Come on, Juan. There's
He's
dead
thinking
air
about it.
here.
He's thinking about it.
Do you know?
That's
Do you not know, Juan? He's looking it up.
maybe, yeah, he's probably looking it up. Well,
He's
he'll come back. He'll
Googling
come
it.
in on
That's
I
today's
didn't know that.
education. You don't learn things in school. You just Google it if you don't know it.
No, I don't know the answer.
Okay, no, truthful story is because the skin can handle the fiberglass much better. White people, it would destroy us, like literally, because that glass gets stuck in your skin and stuff. But for some reason, true story, scientific fact, the skin of somebody from Mexico can handle the fiberglass much better.
That's pretty cool. It's a cool tidbit.
It makes you
Oh,
itchy. I know that.
It makes all of us itchy, but the difference between your ethnicity and mine is I can die from that fiberglass in my skin. You won't.
wow.
And it actually, I think it can come out of the skin easier too for some reason. It's weird. But if you go to all these places that do fiberglassing, that's who works there for that reason. So,
Oh, it's interesting.
so
I've
when
never known
people are
anyone in
also
that.
saying negative crap about people from different areas or different skin colors doing different jobs, it's not because of the bullshit that people spread. Because the bottom line is, we're all human beings. We're all the human race. There's good and bad in every single culture. But at the end of the day, like you said, we're all pretty much structured the same, just little variations. And thank God for kids, because they don't realize the stuff that stupid adults realize or think.
Yeah, they
You
just
know,
yeah, take what you hear and what you learn, and that's why, going on your own adventures and your journeys, why in particular love traveling to different parts of the world, because you get to expand your point of view, your perceptions, understanding, like things are literally, there's a whole nother world happening, just like a mirrored version. So sometimes looking at that reflection is a bit confusing, or it takes a while to recognize yourself in that, if that if that makes sense.
and and
But
speaking of the celestial stuff, I
yeah.
really I want to visit the other dimensions and see what's going
So,
on
well, this is a
because
really good time to do that, because the veil is quite thin and thinning
mm,
right now. The veil between the worlds. They're always happening. Sorry, did you have another thought there?
no, I was just thinking, okay, so first of all, they wouldn't make all these movies about the multiverse if there wasn't actually one. That's my opinion.
Mhm.
Because you ever notice that all these movies that are sci-fi are now real life? So it's either one of two things. Either they already know about it and whoever writes about it, or you write about it and somebody figures out how to make it happen. But I definitely think it's rather arrogant of the human race to think that we are the only intelligent life out there or even the most intelligent. We're probably not the most intelligent, I could tell you.
Just the
Um,
little babies, little baby consciousnesses.
yeah, but so like, of course, listen and think about it. There's black holes in the ocean. There's black holes in space. Of
Mm.
course, there's got to be somewhere that's going to.
Yeah, different portal. Well, here's the cool thing, Well, okay, you mentioned something about dreams. We're gonna touch on that, okay? Because there's some fun stuff around that and the bewitching hours. And then I lost my track. Why don't we just talk about that?
Yeah, talk about it.
But yeah, because
Don't
okay,
tell
look,
us we're gonna talk about it, just talk about it.
we're gonna okay, so the time travel too. So like the organ of the liver in Chinese medicine. So what's really cool about it is because like people, maybe we are connected by our dreams, and that's different messages, because when our conscious state, when we're awake and alive, during the day, going about our business, we're only really receiving such a tiny fraction of all the information that is actually happening around us, right?
Well, we
We're
also
focused on
ignore it because we
something.
don't believe
Well,
it,
I
and we
don't think we
ignore
can
it.
process it at that speed, like the speed that it's coming to us. So that's why we have our our brain, our conscious brain, the body, but we also have like the heart brain, we have the gut brain. All of these are perceiving different things. And okay, we got another just gotta throw in your 2 cents any chance you get.
When we're talking about space, I thought it was appropriate.
Oh my gosh.
Go
Okay,
on.
back on track, on the space track. See, I'm a little bit like, squirrely. I need to focus. You're not helping me here. You're the
Oh, sorry.
co-host.
Go, speak.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got all these different areas, and we're like such an energetic being too, just like in space. So, oh, right now, there's huge aurora borealis, there's huge geometric storm. So if you've ever seen a picture, maybe Juan can help us in the background, just like a picture of like the earth with its like magnetic field. But I think we can all imagine that. Or even you look at like a battery or like a magnet, there's like the two polarities, and it forms an energetic magnetic field around it. And we're the same way. So we're always perceiving this information in dream time. When we go to rest, this is where some of our 5 spirits that we've talked about in the past come into play. And
Can you
what
remind me of
they
those 5
do.
spirits, please, for those listening now that didn't hear it last time?
Yeah, well, we've got last week we talked about the Shen, right? The Shen is the spirit of the heart. It's like the eyes, it's someone's spirit, it's the emperor's, like kind of the main spirit, right?
I hate
And
when
then
people kick me in the shin.
yeah. Wah wah. Well,
Okay, what's
yeah,
the
or
next one?
yeah, break the Shen. Yeah, and then we have we've talked about the Po, which is the corporeal soul. That's with the lung. So that's we talked a little bit about that, and today we can talk about that. We've got the Yi, which is the intellect, the intellectual spirit, and that's housed in the spleen, the stomach, the earth element. It's our material realm. And then we have
Before you
the
go on to the next one, so if
okay.
somebody's running around, they're going, "Yee!" then they're
Yee!
intellectual.
Yee!
Then they're
Yeah.
intellectual. Okay, go. Go ahead. Next one.
You know what? Maybe that's a good way to tap into that
Yeah.
spirit, right? Because that's also our solar plexus. It's our center core being, right? Like what connects us as a human between the heaven and the earth. It's the earth. Like, well, heaven and earth. See, we kind of view that as like two energies, and then we're as the being, the person is in the middle of that. So um that's the Yi. The so that's why like things like digestion, like food, the food that you eat, the what you drink matters, because that's the soil of your body, soil of your being. And then that's the grounding point. So like a tree or a forest can't really grow on with bad soil. So you need good soil to have abundant life and be connected to heaven and earth. Celestial bodies included. And then yeah, so then we did the spirit of the heart, the Shen, the Po, the lungs, the corporeal, the realness of life, the Yi, intellect, the digestion. We've got then the Hun, which is the liver, which is the ethereal spirit, ethereal soul. And that has it's okay, I got this little image for you, okay? Because it's maybe a little easier than explaining, but look at this. This is a circle, right? And it's divided into 12 portions, like maybe the clock. And an organ governs every 2-hour cycle. This is the circadian, it's similar to circadian rhythms, you might have heard. So, the nighttime, there's some interesting things happening. And the liver, the Hun spirit, is like really active at this time. It's our rational thinking. It's what cleanses our bodies, our nervous system. And then we have the Zhi, which is the will. It's associated with the kidneys, the water element, the root of life, our ancestral DNA, our tribal energy, our root, our source. Like water is the root of all life. That's what in Chinese medicine we say the kidneys are the root of all life. Was that a good explanation?
I think it was a great explanation. The only thing I had to say about your whole explanation is next time you have props, get a manicure.
Oh yeah, I know my nails are not, well, they're like half done. How can you see that close anyway? Oh my gosh. And plus we're on radio, who cares?
Well, not for the people that are watching on Talk 4 TV. We're not on audio only. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
See, I even went and I went back to my natural color on my beard for the show this morning.
Oh, really? Okay. That's your natural color?
This is my natural color. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. And the hair.
It was like forming some gray colors. I don't know what they are, so I had to go back to my natural color.
So, yeah, so that's like, that's when you get gray hair, that's from the kidney element, the water element.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds like my kidney's no good because gray hair is your dead hair when you get older. So
yeah, exactly.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah, reading that. Yeah.
Meaning the kidney, if you're getting the gray hair, let's say you're getting premature gray hair, okay?
Yeah.
Does that mean your kidney's not operating properly? That's what I was asking.
Well, there's like a few things. You could be, because the kidney is actually like the constitutional, that's our constitution. It's from the time of conception. There's two ways that we get our energy in life. The first one is time of conception. Now you have the energy of both your parents, and that's you. That's your kidney essence. And the essence, the Jing, is a vital, treasured substance. And it is like an hourglass. The minute you're kind of born conceived, that hourglass flips. And it's like the essence is constant. Like that's, and then when we reach old age, your essence is kind of gone, so that's, yeah.
And then is that when you hear ding, and that means your hourglass is empty?
Jing. Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite points, because like it's so much fun to be learning another language. There's one, and it's called daling. So it's like daling, daling, and it's on the wrist. Daling, daling.
Oh, I say daling all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Another second source of energy in our life comes from the spleen, stomach, and the lung. It's the food that we eat, the air that we breathe. So the constitutional essence, your Jing, it's really hard to build up. It really is only diminishing as we go. So that's why things like, and premature gray hair can be from like mega shock trauma, that zaps your energy. Like it punches you deep to the core. And that takes some of that essence, but then there's also like the little things of staying up too late, drinking a lot, like, the late night party stuff can deplete that essence as well. Lots of stress, lots of overworking. It's adrenal fatigue. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but I mean, it's like kind of supportive because this time of year, I think I read somewhere, I connect in with a group every month that brings in a lot of like, physical and metaphysical aspects into.
Well, the celestial stuff that goes on definitely affects our body and our mind. Like, think about it. Why do people go nuts during a full moon? Is it because they're just nuts that day, or is it because there is the energy that is making that happen?
And like if you're, say you're a tree and you're not very flexible or something, so there's that flexibility.
I'm just being a tree for you. I'm being your prop.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you're a real rigid tree. that won't be hard to imagine for you, right? Okay. So,
No,
but a
not
big
at all.
gust of wind, like big Hurricane Milton comes in. Okay. And you snap under the pressure.
Ow,
Oh,
that
you
hurt,
lost a
man. I
limb.
just
You
slammed
lost.
my wrist into my phone. That hurt.
Okay, right? So you need a little more suppleness into the.
I'm not going to be able to push the button aftershock to record the interviews this weekend now. Jesus.
Well, if you need an assistant, let me know.
Okay. Let's go
Okay.
back to more celestial stuff because I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know about
I
what
know
was
it's
the
so
other
cool.
thing that you said? The witching.
Oh yeah, the witching hour. Well, I don't think I really finished my thought around the tree.
Okay, continue with the tree.
But yeah, which I kind of what were we talking about?
Okay, so the
So
tree,
bad.
I'm up here like
Yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
okay, and then the wind comes and we go like this, and then the branch falls.
Yeah,
That's where we were.
you need to be like you want a little bit more flexibility in life. Okay? So when like the storm comes, you're able to adapt and not fall apart because if you're not and that comes from a part of the tree comes from the soil. So good soil is your stability, your grounding point. Plus then you add like a good solid constitution from the kidney energy. So and that's what's going to keep you stable during like turbulent times, like the tides changing, because that's always ebb and flowing. But if you can have a center point, and right now we're in huge transition, so some people you may notice like emotions are running high, and we're in the metal season, which is all governed by emotions. So
Is that
from now
because of
till
the DWP
yeah.
festivals that were in the metal season?
Yeah, well, maybe this is how life orchestrates itself so well because they know people need metal in this time
I
of
need
year.
metal,
To
so
really, yeah,
for
you
sure.
just like, you really need to, get it out, move that energy so it's not stuck in your body, causing you to become really rigid and inflexible. And then when life really throws you punches, then you're not, mm,
Then you're like Muhammad
will,
Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
there you go. There you go. See, wise words. That man has a lot of wise words. So like a true athlete that's like dedicated to the craft and committed to the practice and the work that it takes is
Well, think about it.
it's
Most athletes are
good.
great. They're not necessarily physically great. They're mind great. Okay.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's like
if if you read, there's a book
everything.
about Muhammad Ali, and what made him the greatest boxer was not his skills, it was his brain. Number one, figuring out a strategy opposed to just going out there and brawling. Number two, he would put a mindset in his opponent and in himself at the same time. He would announce what round he was going to knock somebody out, and 95% of the time he was right. And it was only because, listen, you go into that round thinking you're going to get knocked out, you're going to manifest that in the universe. If you're going into that round thinking you're going to knock the person out, that too you manifest in the universe. I'm a big believer. Throw stuff out in the universe, speaking into celestial, it will come back to you in some form, whatever form the
Mm.
universe decides it should be, and whatever time it decides.
Yeah, when you decide or you feel the desire, I think that's a real key point because you can say you want something, but it's like a bit superficial. But if it's like true and deep to your core, I do believe that the universe conspires to support that mission. And right now, so this is what I was saying with this group, like there's a theme right now that is going back to maybe the last 12 or 15 years, like looking back to what were some things that you had planted then, or what were some desires you had then, and how aligned are you with that course? So right now is really connecting in and aligning with what's real and true for you. So there's a lot of sometimes you have to like deconstruct. It's like the towers in the tarot card represent like a restructuring of sorts, so
Well,
you can
that makes a
rebuild.
lot of sense. You know why?
Mhm. How come?
Because 18 years ago, I made a choice and decision that led to us doing this show right now.
Wow. Cool.
See that?
What about 12 years ago?
Can we go back further, actually? I'd personally like to go back further, okay?
Okay.
I would like to go back to 1990. That's where I wanna go back to.
All right.
Can we do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just
So
plug it in. Doot, 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 doot.
well,
Ready?
yeah,
Buckle up.
12 years ago, let me think.
Yeah, that would have been, well, 12 to 15. That would have been like 2014. Yeah, 2011, 2014. The big 2012.
Maybe that's when Kate Michaels came on board at the
Oh,
station.
whoa. Oh, I feel that. Yeah, and there was some, I know from 2017, I have record of her being
I
on the station at least.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, wouldn't that be cheers to Kate Michaels and all of our
what were her
celestial support.
thoughts about the whole celestial thing?
You know what? Kate, she was so awesome. I remember her I talked to her a lot like in, those later years, but she mentioned 2024 being
Whoa.
quite a year of, it was like a prophetic moment where she said people would really be like tired of the way things are going. Like we need a restructure. Like there's that energy, and we even see it in the sun. Like last night, oh, the aurora borealis have been just insane up here. Like I could see them from my balcony. We're in the middle of the city. It's like so bright. Those are usually rare occurrences, but last night there was a comet. There's a comet also coming into our orbit. I think October 14 and October 24th were moments
Ooh.
that we could see it, and it will be as bright as the Northern Star. So, but there was an image of the sun, and you could see the comet come into its close by, and then the sun let out like a huge coronal mass ejection, and that's like a giant explosion of plasma that goes through the magnetic field, and it shoots. Like this is happening a lot. Like the sun is a breathing living being. Like it's constantly purging and clearing stuff, but that's the type of energy that creates these like aurora borealis. So we're, even in our cosmos, the celestial realm is having these big moments. Oh, and also something like that could really affect weather patterns like hurricanes. It can strengthen storms. So
All
we're
right,
like
you ready for this?
in a storm. Go ahead.
Okay. 2000, what you asked me? 2014 you were asking about?
Well, yeah, around then. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I first talked to Kate Michaels, and she talked her into doing a show, and she started her show at the beginning of 2015.
Wow. Okay. Oh,
There it is.
how awesome. Well, you know what? That's like worth, I know this is our, on the list of things to do, but to go back, and there's so much gold there. She was just
Yeah,
such a special human being. Yeah.
I told you whenever you're
Aren't we
ready.
all? But yeah, I know. Whenever I'm
Oh,
ready.
I'm ready
Okay.
for you
Okay. So
anytime.
I'm gonna put this like deep in my desires, and just let all of that orchestrate into something
Well, she
productive
already
and manifest.
manifests into your show because your show wouldn't be what it is without Kate Michaels. So she
Yeah, it's
already is
true.
manifesting into your show. And she's the one helping you today to talk about these celestial things and like try to drive the evil spirits like me away from deterring your attention.
Right? I know. She's like,
S-
cut
So,
him out
witching
of there.
hour, I want you to talk about witching hour because most people hear
Okay.
that and they think something very negative by that term.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a cheeky term, I just kind of like to play around a little bit, but it is like, to me when I hear bewitching, I to me that's like a good term, because it's like when the veil is thin and you can access both realms. I think there's so much to like to something really magical about encompassing all of it when you're really trying to manifest something in your life. Like bring in all of your resources, all of your support, like physical, non-physical beings, bring in your higher self. And so lots of people will wake up at that 3 a.m. for multiple reasons. Firstly, the 3 to 5 a.m. is the time of the lung, and it is the starting point of the new day, because the way our cycle, like that clock I showed you, as we move through a 24-hour period, every 2 hours we're shifting a different energy of organ system. And the ancient Chinese medicine, Taoist philosophies, like all this observed thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, that our bodies reflect these things. So 3 to 5 a.m., the time of the lung, it's when monks or people in monastery will wake up, right, between this time, because it's like you inspire the new day, like you breathe in the new day, and then it moves through the cycle. And but the time between 1 and 3 a.m. is when you've finally cleansed that liver, gallbladder, irrational thinking. Back to what I was saying, in the daytime, we're actually receiving a lot of information. So at nighttime, in dream time, that's when we're processing all of that other stuff that happened through the day. So we get dreams or messages, or we're sorting and cleansing. And then after the sort cleanse, we breathe in new life. So
And
3
say,
a.m.
Calgon, take me away.
Yeah. The ancient Chinese secret. So this so if you're waking up, so there's like an aspect where if you are very dedicated to your cycles of the day, you might want to be waking up at 3 to 5 a.m. because that's the time of the lung. You do your meditation,
Perfect.
prayer.
That's when I woke up today. And I'll have
Well,
to be
yeah.
waking up then for a flight tomorrow. So it's perfect.
Okay. There you go.
Is
Right
that
on
why
cue.
I keep picking flights and I have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning? Because like every
Well,
flight I've taken recently in the past couple months, I have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to catch my flight.
well,
Maybe
knowing
that's
who
why.
you are a type of person that really likes to seize the day. So that might make sense that you just want to get up and breathe
Ca-
the day, like our breath is actually the most valuable thing we can share in life. And like when you go to in Hawaii, they say aloha. It's like actually means like the breath, like ha is the breath. So it's like the breath in me, like sees the breath in you. So I don't know. This is maybe a little deep meaning of why you
See,
take
when you were
a 3
talking
a.m.
about
flight.
that, I'm thinking maybe that's what they say aloha because it's like you're speaking a little loudly. It's a lower ha.
Oh yeah, give me a low ha.
Yeah,
Don't say a high ha.
exactly.
No high ha's around here. Maybe a yee ha, but no high ha's.
Definitely a hee haw.
Yeah,
Because
really a hee
Green
haw.
Acres is the place to be.
Right. Yeah. It's the
And the
place for
studio
me.
where Juan is right next to Green Acres. So Juan is as close to
Wow.
the place you want to be as you can be.
Okay. One lucky guy. So, all right. What else do we have to talk? What else do I have to share about that? So if you're waking up in a dysfunctional pattern, would be unprocessed emotions or stuck emotion can show up at that 3 to 5 a.m. But because it's like really where there's they talk about this, everything in Chinese medicine is quite like metaphorical, I guess, because they see the liver or that energy as the dragon, and then the lung energy as the tiger. And it's a time of night where the dragon and the tiger are like sorting things out. And if you don't have proper cleansing, or like, so it really determines your state of wakefulness, your mental clarity, your attitude towards life. Like that nighttime loop between say 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. is really important to our overall well-being. But if
That's
it's
why
all
we
clean,
pick those times to go out to nightclubs and drink alcohol.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny, but I mean, it's a really creative time. So I think that you can actually have quite a bit of fun, and in a way it's like, I mean, they're almost legal, but like doing mushrooms, like they're kind of like open your realms, and like you're seeing different perspectives, like to have access into that nighttime loop, like to be conscious in it. I don't know. I think people like that kind of thing. it's different than the daytime. So anyway, it's all an attempt to balance. But you just have to be careful or cautious or study a little bit more, educate yourself, because I think you can prepare for nights out like that if you're going to recoup your losses in another way. But so with a really cleansed, healthy liver, that organ, that energy can actually be a time traveler. It's processing information and time in general from the past, the present, and if in a healthy state into the future. So that's why you can get prophetic dreams at night. You can have like insights. It's problem solving.
So I have a question for you. Okay.
Go on.
So with all this information and with all the celestial events that are happening currently, what holistic and helpful tips do you have for people for using that to basically, help with sleep, mental clarity, gut health, and of course, what the pipe man wants most is glowing skin.
Yeah. Thanks for adding that. Well, I mean, first about the skin, it's our like organ of elimination. It's like our external defensive system, our first line of defense, right? So anything that's inside of us is like it's protecting us from the inside and out. So I think the more harmonized your balance you have within the inner and outer worlds, you naturally glow. You are illumined. You are like aligned. Your antenna is getting full reception. Your energetic field is strong, powerful, and contained. That's an important one too. Is like knowing how to control your energy where you're containing it for yourself and not leaking energy. So I would say at this time of year, or at this time right now, for people, tips first is to be reconnected with the earth, like reground, because in times of transition, there's a lot of movement, and you are going to be communicating better, making better decisions, sleeping better, eating better when you're grounded, rooted, centered.
I have a serious question about that. Okay. It'll start off funny, but it is serious. So does that mean that I have to like walk around barefoot? Because I don't like being barefoot. But I say that seriously because there are a lot of people that believe that it's does all those things you're talking about and is really healthy for you to walk around barefoot and the earth to not be blocked by a shoe.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The shoe is blocking, but yeah, because of it's like our sweat and our electromagnetic field, like our imprint touches the imprint of the earth, and we gain minerals and energy from that. If you're standing, say you're standing inside of a building, the energetic field is quite small. Like you don't have much room. You have to kind of like maneuver your energy a bit. But when you're outside, you notice like how expansive it is and how much space you have. And we need more space in our lives. We're, like there's with all the chaos and information overload. We live in the information age. So like to sift through that needs a bit of space. So yeah, being outside, planting your feet on the ground, the grass is good. There's also grounding mats. If you live in a high rise, you're off of the ground. You can have something like that is good. Maybe just like a dirt bath. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about that right now. If you just scoop some dirt and put it in a bucket.
That's what's good about festivals, because festivals are a dirt bath.
Well, yeah. And you're like, it's dusty. You're usually wearing shoes, hopefully. My gosh. But you're close to the ground. You're in that corporeal, you're in that like animalistic a little bit, not really, but like you're also in tune with your emotions. You're listening to music. You're connected.
So a lot of people do liver detoxes, okay?
Yes.
And they do it for health reasons, gut reasons. But what I'm getting from you is that those liver cleanses are way more important than that. And actually doing those liver cleanses, people are cleansing their spirituality, their mental health, their gut health, their
Mhm.
skin, everything
The
without
rational
even
thinking.
realizing they're
Yeah.
doing all of this
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
the
but I
reason
would
they're
I
doing
would say that liver cleanses, well, firstly, anyone can cleanse by cutting out sugar, dairy, processed foods, wheat, like you can cleanse any time of year by cutting those things out. A specific liver cleanse I would only recommend in the springtime because that's when the energy of the liver is strongest when it can take that. But if you do it in the opposite season when the energy is its weakest, i.e., the fall season, um, that like that's not the energy that's calling for at that time of year. So you're actually
See, that
damaging,
makes
pulling away from your body. You should be building your body up. There is like in the fall season, the triple F formula I like. It's a mix, equal portions of fennel, flax, and fenugreek, and this builds the lungs, the lung chi. It helps strengthen your skin, your defense system. Um, it's also good for your digestion. So I would say that there's a time and a place for that. But yes, liver cleanses are popular, and be careful of fads. I think that that's also something
yeah.
I see come and go. But tried, tested, true, ancient practices in medicine are where like they come from and where you'll find the most knowledge and benefit for your life. So
Well,
anyways,
I'm
if
glad you
anyone's
brought
if
that
anyone's
all up.
listening, like I'm happy to have a chat. Just send me a message. You can always find us at the Language of Healing, um, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
That's what I was
and
going to say too.
W4WN.
I'm glad
What?
to hear all that and stuff because you can actually help people. Here's the thing. People tend, with the fads and everything else to try to self-medicate themselves naturally. And that's a good thought, but you still need a professional that knows what they're doing. Like the average person wouldn't know, oh, you should do the liver cleanse in the spring because you got these people that peddle supplements and they're like, oh, you should do a liver cleanse every month. And that's actually not good for your body. So tell them all your contact information, how they can reach out to you to get maybe a free consultation to find out
Mm,
whatever ails them, whether it has to do with their body, their mind, their spirit, what you can do to help them, or at the very least, give them the right advice. So, because I've seen so many people make their health worse, make their mental health worse by doing natural health and doing it the wrong way.
hmm Like not in accordance with the natural rhythms of life. Yeah, the Language of Healing. Instagram, Facebook. Reach out, say hello, mm, give us a like, subscribe,
Direct message.
direct message, and
Do you have any
yeah, keep
websites they
shining.
can go to and check out too?
I probably do, but thanks for putting me on the spot. I'm not really sure. This is it's the language. Well, I have the language of healing podcast.com, right? Is that right? Sorry. Why did you have to bring it up like 3 times, man?
Well,
Okay.
because people need to know. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Okay, this is us
Juan
organizing.
is
This
gonna
is
before we close out, Juan will inform them of your language of healing website,
yeah,
your podcast website. They can
yeah.
find your podcast on any podcast outlet out there, iHeart, Apple, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, and like 100 others. They can go to Talkform Media to check out the podcast. They can watch this show every single week, except for the weeks that don't happen because of leap year. And they can watch it every single week right here on W4WN Radio, the Women for Women Network at W4WN.com at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays. Now, if you happen to be in Los Angeles, then it would be 11 a.m., but not Eastern time. And if you happen to be in the UK, then it would be 8 p.m., also not Eastern time. And so maybe I've talked enough that Juan brought up these things for us. That
hey,
look, there it is.
Okay, this is the mini moon. Did you see it?
Well, are you looking at the scrolling ticker too?
Yeah.
He's giving your information the scrolling ticker. Let people know to read the scrolling ticker, and they can get the information they need.
Yeah, but we have read that, The Language of Healing, on Instagram and Facebook.
That just looks like Elon Musk trying to blow up the moon. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it's funny. It's not real, but it's funny. So there's the two moons. It's not really actually visible, but that comet, what's the name of that comet? Juan, you want to bring it up? I know we're out of time. Okay, we got to go.
We are, but let them bring that up real quick. Well, I do.
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
I'm a little bit old school. You know what? I just really like genuine connection. Just send me a message. I'll try to be better at being on the interwebs. Thanks for tuning in and all your support. Thanks for letting everyone know, Pipe Man.
Yeah, and listen, all they have to do is search for you, because you are a master of the universe, the whole celestial universe. So,
well, I hope everyone, just connects in, tune in with yourself, realign with what really matters to you, have fun, and enjoy time with your friends, family, and people that help support you and bring you joy in life. Listen to music, eat a good meal. We'll be back next week after Aftershock, and
and next week she'll know what her websites are.
Yeah, next week I'll come ready with the websites. We can even have a look at them. Why don't we go through them and look at all the fun things that are accessible through the website?
Next week?
Next week.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody,
we'll see you there.
Thanks, Nicole, for helping me out, because
keep shining.
I learned a lot today. So thank you.
Did you? Okay, I hope so. We can definitely revisit some of these topics next time, because it's really, really fascinating, just like the world we live in right now.
Okay, that's enough. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Wow, what a show today. And the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. See you next week.